There, you see that? Nothing allows you to manipulate people easier than the fear of a Falcon Punch. This is F-Zero GP Legend, and although this model looks a little different, this is definitely F-Zero under the hood.
Final lap.
Released in 2004, GP Legend is the second F-Zero game published for Game Boy Advance, following up the 2001 launch title F-Zero Maximum Velocity. And in a sense, GP Legend is basically more of the same. It's a cartridge packed with new tracks and ample challenge, but there's not much in GP Legend that F-Zero fans haven't seen before. More racing, more breakneck speed, more Captain Falcon. Of course, if you're an F-Zero fan, that's exactly what you want. This is the same full-throttle, futuristic, ultra-fun racing you'd expect from the series. And unlike the console F-Zeros X and GX, GP Legend keeps things in perspective, so to speak, sticking with the classic Mode 7 look of the Super Nintendo game that started it all. In fact, GP Legend takes the same racing formula that made the original F-Zero so unique and expands it into a bigger and obviously more portable package. You have a time trial mode, a full story mode, a series of challenge races, and 4 F-Zero Grand Prix events, with more than 30 playable characters to unlock. Now for comparison, there were 4 in the original F-Zero. I mean, if you would have told me in 1991 that I'd get to someday play a handheld F-Zero with improved graphics, more than 7 times the characters, and a ton more tracks, I mean, I first would have asked to see your DeLorean, but then I would have just slapped you square in the face. I like to look at games like this from that perspective, especially one like F-Zero GP Legend. This game was released a year after what I consider to be the best game in the series, F-Zero GX for the GameCube, and so in comparison, GP Legend may not seem like anything to get excited about. But while the series evolved on home consoles, it was nice to see Nintendo keeping it old school on the portables. GP Legend may not have the fancy corkscrews and lightning bolts and crazy 3D magic, but it's still a fantastic complement to its GameCube predecessor. It's also a bit of a departure from prior F-Zero games in one key area. Gone is the comic book style that had defined the series, and in its place, GP Legend applies a fresh coat of anime to Captain Falcon and his eccentric cast of friends and foes. Of course, this was obviously done in conjunction with the F-Zero anime, which GP Legend is essentially based on. And another minor issue are the liberties GP Legend takes with F-Zero's characters. To match the story of the anime it's based on, GP Legend basically turns Captain Falcon into a title rather than a character. Basically, in accordance with the writers of the anime series, the best racer in the world earns the right to be the new Captain Falcon. Like the style, this one's all about preference, but I'd rather view him as Douglas J. Falcon than some random schmuck. But as you've probably noticed, I'm really nitpicking here. Style has always been an important component of F-Zero, but it's never really affected the gameplay, and in that regard, GP Legend is right on track. We have to again thank Eric from Texas for being such an awesome human and sending us this copy. Well played, sir. Thanks a bunch. You know, as much fun as this game is to play, it's also kind of bittersweet. The F-Zero circuit has been dead quiet since this game crossed the finish, but with any luck, we'll be corkscrewing through Mute City again in no time, maybe even in 3D. But until then, the old school charm of F-Zero GP Legend is more than enough to keep your knuckles white.
Finish! Congratulations! You've won first place!